Today we'll be talking about components. We have here the whole app over here and we're exporting app. So think of the React component is sort of the container which self-contains one piece which can be added to the another piece. It's pretty much the same code as you have right now, but it's more structured and it's easier to go through. Right now, as you can see, we have a function app, which is our component. It imports state from React, imports some styles. We have here styles file. And after that, the component of app is exported to the different app. It's actually right now a self-sustained component, which is in main file here, being important, import app from here, and then used here as a component. And then it uses create root function, which is from this library, which is basically creates the whole React app. So it's like a root starting point. Now let's come back over here and let's make a good component of our own. So we have app component. We'll have here a couple of states. We'll come back to states later. We have event handler, which is add habit. We can collapse it. We have another function, which is incrementing the streak, this one. And the add habit is responsible to actually do a handler here. So if I add saying doing nothing and click add habit, that's what this event handler is responsible for. And after all, we have a return statement where we actually return everything. In return, it's kind of a lot right now. As you can see, we have div level, then we have h1, then we have input, then we have this button add habit, and then we have ul unordered lists, which contains a lot of this stuff. What we can extract from here to make the code even more readable for ourselves. I'm thinking of what we can componentize. We can basically cut this out from here, just create another file in the same level as app habit.js. We can paste our function. I just copy pasted whatever we had here in here. I'll probably need to wrap it up in the component to make it self-sustained component. So let's write function habit. We'll probably import habit name streak on increment streak. That makes sense. Streak. Then we're closing it up and opening. And here we have to return, but like this. Now we're back to the code we copied. Remove this semicolon, cut, and paste it over here. It's almost there. For the key, we'll think about it now. Let's keep our style. Just comment out for a while, keeping our style. And here we're getting habit name. Actually, instead of habit name, let's put it just habit. Let's just keep it habit, and on increment streak, accessing habit. Under that will be name, and it will be habit and streak, which makes total sense. And then on click, we will use increment. Okay, let's rename that back to increment streak index. Do we have an index? I wonder if we can pass index as well. If we can pass it, then we can use it here. Let's return this back. Pretty much good. We can save that file. What we need to do, as you can see over here, we need to export default. Let's do the same. Export default habit, save it, and in here, let's import that. Import habit from habit. And now I broke the app, that's fine. So what is happening right now is, as you can see, from the place where we're supposed to render elements of the habits, we have this array of the habits. We're mapping it through, going through each habit and index. And then we return, before we were like returning the whole this li element, which were like rendering for each of the element inside map. If we, for example, had one habit, we'll just render once one habit. If we're rendering three, we have three, it will render three different items of LIs. Now, to make more a self-sustained component and separate component, we just separate it in habit.js. And now what I'm going to do to the piece here, which is missing, probably you already guessed it. Remember, we are importing habit on the top over here, putting habit here as a self component. So we have it already. Now, talking about the props, we already separated one component